We're going to town.
Okay, it's 9 o'clock. I'll call the meeting to order. You have the agenda before you. There's one addition or one correction to the agenda. Item number 10, where it says review and act on the Wright County Drainage District assessments. It should also include after that eligible for share spread waivers.
Spread waivers.
Spread waivers,
Yeah. So which means that it's the drainage districts that have a higher dollar value and they can be spread
Spread
over
over 20 years.
10, 15, 20 years.
Yep. Are there any other corrections?
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
As corrected?
That's correct.
As corrected.
I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as corrected. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Okay, Betty, if you would read the minutes of the May 8th meeting.
Chairman Clues called the regular meeting of the Wright County Board of Supervisors to order at 9 a.m. Members present were Clues, Rasmussen, and Helgeveld. Motion by Rasmussen, seconded by Helgeveld to approve the tentative agenda. Motion carries. Minutes of the previous regular meeting of May 1st, 2023 were read and approved with one correction. Approved claims for payment. Motion by Rasmussen, seconded by Helgeveld to approve the Wright County Cost Allocation Plan for 2022 and have the chairman sign the certification statement. Motion carries. Motion by Rasmussen, seconded by Helgeveld to approve the Cost Advisory Services Incorporated contract for 2023, 24, and 25. Motion carries. The contract will cost $4,450 each year in the contract. Motion by Rasmussen, seconded by Helgeveld to approve the lease for Central Iowa Community Services space at the Wright County Resource Center from July 1, 2023 to June 30, 2024. Motion carries. Motion by Rasmussen, seconded by Helgeveld to receive the monthly revenue report from the Wright County Sheriff. Motion carries. Sandy McGrath, Wright County Public Health Administrator, presented the grant that was awarded for $9,500 to purchase new pagers for the Wright County Fire Departments. This grant was awarded through the Wright County Charitable Foundation. Andy Yackel, custodian, and Sandy McGrath presented the plan for the renovation of the public health building. This would be completed in 2 phases. The first phase will be all the interior offices and rooms, and the second phase will be the outdoors for furnaces, outdoors, and repairing of the roof leak. Motion by Helgeveld, seconded by Rasmussen to have Allers Associates Architects prepare a plan. Motion carries. This will cost $15,000 to create the plan and new blueprints. Motion by Rasmussen, seconded by Helgeveld to establish a per diem rate of $30 and mileage following the federal rate per meeting for the temporary redistricting commission. Motion carries. Motion by Rasmussen, seconded by Helgeveld to approve resolution 2023-22 for interfund operating transfers by roll call vote. Ayes, Clues, Rasmussen, and Helgeveld, nays none. Resolution 2023-22 duly passes and reads as follows. And that was the transfer to close out the transit fund. Motion by Helgeveld, seconded by Rasmussen to set the public hearing date for June 5th, 2023 at 10 a.m. for the fiscal year 2023 budget amendments. Motion carries. Adam Clemens, Wright County Engineer, gave an update on the secondary roads. There were 18 work orders completed last week. Blades continue to prep and level the rock miles as the trucks haul them. Crews are reclaiming granular shoulders on hard surface routes. The 310th Street rehab reclaim will start next week with excavators out this week digging around culverts and intakes before the project. Clemens presented the names of 2 new truck drivers out of the Clarion maintenance facility. Motion by Rasmussen, seconded by Helgeveld to approve the hire of the names presented pending post-offer pre-employment physical and drug screen and background checks. Motion carries. The starting wage will be $25.44 per hour. Clemens then presented the detour agreement between Wright County and the Iowa DOT. There will be a bridge replacement north of the feed mill on Highway 69. The detour will be using the Galt Blacktop. This project is estimated for April 1st, 2024 to August 9th, 2024. Motion by Rasmussen, seconded by Helgeveld to have the county engineer sign to issue detour utilizing C-54 and R-59 for the Highway 69 bridge replacement. Motion carries. Clemens presented another detour agreement between Wright County and the Iowa DOT. This will be for a railroad crossing repair on the east side of Goldfield. This detour will use R-33 up to C-26, then down R 26 back to Goldfield. This project is estimated for October 2nd, 2023 to October 8th, 2023. Motion by Huggold, seconded by Rasmussen to authorize the county engineer to sign the agreement for the detour using R 33, C 26 and R 26. Motion carries. Motion by Huggold, seconded by Rasmussen to adjourn the meeting. Motion carries.
I would. The only thing that I was, that didn't make sense to me, first phase will be all the interior offices and rooms. Second phase will be outdoors for furnaces, doors, and repairing the roof leak. To my knowledge, there wasn't any discussion on a roof leak.
Yeah, there
Are you
was.
aware of anything?
I
I
was.
think it's to check it out. I think there may have been one, but we didn't talk much about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
it
remember
was
it being
one.
brought up, but yeah, but I don't think it was a major thing.
No, it wasn't a major thing, or just a minor, real quick, they need to get.
Are there any
checked out.
additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, they'll stand approved as read. Approved claims for payment.
I think, did you guys do that? and put them out in the
Yeah, they're out in
hallway?
the hall.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, open forum for public input. Anyone here from the public to speak? Okay, anyone online? Okay. Item number 6, approve the cigarette permit for Casey's General Store near Dow's.
They've got all their stuff in.
Yep.
Motion to approve.
Second,
I have a motion and a second to approve the cigarette permit for Casey's General Store near Dow's. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carried. This is just your signature, Betty, not mine, right?
Oh, that could be.
Right. Yeah, Mike, you are a timed event, so we'll wait till 9:15 for that. Item number 8 is also a timed event at 9:45. Item number 9, review and act on a request for proposal on the June 30th, 2023, 2024, 2025 Wright County audit.
So we, in the past, have been signing a 3-year contract with our auditing firm, Gardner and Company. This is their information and their packet. In that packet, it goes through their resumes as to their capabilities. They have different references in there that different counties you can call it. They also do cities and schools, but their main focus is counties.
Are they the
And-
only ones that responded
Correct,
to
yes.
the request?
I wonder if we had them
Used
there.
any for it?
We had them 3 years. We were with Hanson and Hogan
Mhm.
and we were the only county that they were doing, and so they had requested to not continue. Gardner and Company, I feel, is probably the best in the state for audits, unless you get the state auditors, but they I don't feel, I think Gardner and Company is better than the state, so.
So it looks like total auditing fee in their proposal is for 2023, $42,650, for 2024, $44,800, and 2025, $47,050.
It's a lot.
Is that pretty much the norm, though?
Yeah.
Gradually went up in the 30s and then it just keeps ticking
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
It's required, but again, the only one, are you satisfied with having them?
I
For the
am. I
auditor.
don't
Yeah,
know.
how many years have they done it for us?
They've done it the last 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Peggy, your thoughts?
I'm happy with them. I feel like I've been audited once they're done with them.
Oh, they are hard on me.
There was a challenge,
Covered.
it would be good.
Okay,
Motion to approve.
Second.
a motion and second to approve hiring Gardner and Company, PC Certified Public Accountants as our auditing firm for years 23, 24, and 25. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carried. Adam, how long will yours be?
Quick.
Okay, let's go down to item number 12. Adam Clemens, Wright County Engineer. Item A, consider hire for a heavy equipment operator on the bridge and sign maintenance facility.
Yep, before you have a name of a gentleman that we interviewed, that has accepted the offer that I presented to them last week. Pending board approval, pre-employment physical and drug screen and background check. So,
Motion to approve.
I'll second. I have a motion and a second to approve, pending, pre-employment physical and drug screen and the background check. The hire of the, heavy equipment operator as presented.
and starting wage is $26.71. That's 50 cents less because they're on probation. They'll be on the current probation schedule of 6 months. And then anybody hired after July 1 will
Good
do.
year. Okay.
Which is in our new.
Yeah.
manual.
Yeah.
That's the contract for the
Okay.
CPA.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, quick update. The guys are still out prepping, leveling rock miles as they're getting hauled to them. Regular blading, obviously. 310th Street started today. They're down there. They're working with, Mr. Bowman here, on that project. So making sure that they're still able to get to their mega site. Trucks are still hauling the rock miles, completed 17 work orders last week. We're 34.38% done with our year 3 scheduled rock. And we spent all last week cleaning up all the intakes and telephone poles and culverts cleaning out there. So we did find one culvert that was pretty well impacted by soil. So I think they tried to pull a tire through it to clean it out without having to take it apart. So
Great.
that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We got about 2 minutes, but we'll just wait for 2 minutes. You want to call Courtney so that she is on here after we finish this one. Morning, Leroy.
You want Jared? He can sit there. Well, Clark only bites a little bit. You want Jared? I called you Clark.
That hasn't happened.
That was weird.
That
was like.
I saw it on the agenda too. Oh, yeah.
Boom.
That's.
I had it as food, and Betty came out and she's like, are you sure? I'm like, I'd actually never call him Clark, so I don't.
You had to look up to see if that what his real name was.
I can't believe I remembered your name. That Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, 9:15, item number 7, Mike Bowman representing the Claremont Country Club to discuss conveyance of taxes on the country club property.
Watch your
Bowman, you
knees.
slide under that, watch your knees.
Gotcha. As I bang into it, sorry. So I'm here on behalf of Claremont Country Club and its members, to get some explanation on the described parcel description number 0709451002 that was conveyed to the state of Iowa on 3/27. So looking to you for some direction on your due process, your due diligence in this matter, and then additionally, how do you make the taxpayer whole that's been paying property on this taxes on this property since 1926? So those are the questions I've got proposed. Would like some explanation so that I can convey to my membership how this came to be.
Well, I'll give you at least my explanation and understanding, and if I get something wrong, Eric, you're probably one of the persons most familiar with this because you've been dealing with this from before 2016. But in 2016, there was a survey done, and I think that was in response to some property that was going to be sold on the northeast corner of Lake Cornelia.
Yes.
That property, along with the property that used to be labeled as Claremont Country Club property on Beacon and recognized and taxed to you guys, which lays on the west side of the blacktop there. That used to be part of the Sovereign Lake bed. And I forget the Iowa code number, but there's Iowa law that names all the sovereign lakes in the state of Iowa. In Wright County, that includes Morris Lake, Big Wall Lake, Lake Cornelia, and Elm Lake. And because they're listed there, the state considers that anything that was within the original lake bed of that property belongs to the state of Iowa. It's sovereign property. In the 50s, I think.
When they dredged it.
Right.
They dredged it.
I think it was in the 50s. The lake was dredged and the spoils were piled. Well, the road actually was different than it is now. But in the 50s, the lake was dredged and the spoils were piled on what I would call now the road that they set up that they used to set up the fireworks on. It's the road that accesses the fishing portions on the north edge of the lake. The spoils were piled on the north side of that and also became part of that roadbed. So in 2016, when they were going to sell this property, the state of Iowa did a survey and came out and claimed and said, hey, this is the survey. This is in accordance with where the Sovereign Lake bed was. They used photographs from, I think it was from the 1930s, that showed the way that the road originally was and where the lake shore was. At that time, the landowners that were going to sell the property on the northeast corner of the lake were notified by the DNR. We don't know whether or not the Claremont Country Club was notified at the same time. We've got calls in, the people that were at the DNR at that time that sent the letters to those landowners. They are since retired. We're in conversations with the people that are in those positions right now, and they're doing research to see if they can find any correspondence that might have come to the Claremont Country Club as notification.
So if I'm to understand this correctly, even if it was 2006, we still have been maintaining property taxes on that property for 7 additional years through the county. So obviously you weren't notified either,
We were notified.
but you kept paying the taxes on it.
Well, we continued to charge the Claremont Country Club. My understanding is that we charged the country club in accordance with the property lines as they were delineated on Beacon. With knowledge of there being a survey done in 2016 by the Iowa DNR claiming that property as Sovereign Lake property.
And do you have a copy of this survey?
Yes.
Share it with Claremont?
Have I shared it with
Can we
them?
share it with them?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so if I'm understanding the sovereign lake bed rules,
Mhm.
has to be a navigable part of the lake, has to be a continuous navigable part of the lake. And so also it's a high water mark is what determines a sovereign lake bed. And are we sure that the sovereign lake bed didn't extend to the south further than what it currently is now? And would you have the same problem potentially with all the South Lake owners that you're doing to Claremont, that's happening to Claremont? Would that be a claim back from the state on that?
I don't remember if the survey included the south part of the lake or not.
I mean, if we're talking about the sovereign lake bed, right?
That is correct.
You know, you potentially have a bunch of houses on the south end of Lake Cornelia that are on the sovereign lake bed.
That, I can't answer that, but yes,
Yeah.
that is a possibility. Yeah.
So I guess what I'm asking is if we're gonna have the same due process, we're just trying to understand how. I'm guessing that at one time during Beacon, it was a riparian right of how they determined that sliver of property over to the lake edge. Not saying that's right, I'm just saying that's probably how it was surveyed at one point in time. And obviously, with the sovereign rules of the sovereign lake bed, it's maybe changed. We're not saying that potentially this isn't the lake, the state's property. What we have a problem with a little bit here is, when was the notification, what's the due process, and what's the responsibility of Wright County to its constituents on notification, follow through on taxes? I mean, and how are we gonna rectify from our abstract of paying taxes on this property since 1920? How does Claremont get right in this situation? Is it the state's responsibility to make Clarion right, or is it Wright County's that collected the taxes?
I don't have a good answer for you, and I don't know if the county attorney, Eric Simonson, if he has a better answer for you. My understanding from the research that I've done, the responsibility falls to the landowner, as far as if there's a mistake on their taxes, and there's a proper process. And I'm not gonna remember all the names of the boards, but there's a process that a taxpayer goes through if they want to contest their taxes. From your point of view, I understand that it was your understanding that that was your property. So where does that responsibility fall with, once the state has said, hey, we're surveying this, Iowa law draws back to Iowa code that says that this is a sovereign lake, therefore we're claiming the original lake bed. I can't answer that. I can tell you that the research that has been done, mistakes made by the assessor, county supervisors, unless they're made purposefully, then there is no recourse, is my understanding. Am I explaining that correctly or not, Eric?
I think that's the big explanation of the situation. So generally speaking, there. It's the taxpayer's responsibility to determine if they've got the property or not that they are claimed to own. If there's a question as to that, they've got to go through the administrative revenues you kind of described there with the taxing authority and challenge that. Let's say, for example, we aren't property owners here, why are we being taxed for that and so forth, and then.
To the board of review.
Typically right to the board of review, and then that board of review would make a determination as to whether or not they agreed or not. There is a provision in the code that allows for the board of supervisors to refund the taxpayers taxes for the last 2 years. It doesn't go back any farther than that, but that only applies if the taxpayer has exhausted those administrative revenues that are described before, and that you can show that the tax was magic languages erroneously or illegally applied, which has been interpreted by the courts at least to be pretty narrow sub circumstances. For example, if the city of Rowan tried to impose a special assessment on a property in the city of Clarion, they wouldn't have that taxing authority to do that. And if they did that and someone ended up paying a special assessment on that tax, taxpayer would come in and say, hey, that shouldn't have happened, that the original taxing authority did not have the authority to be able to actually impose that tax, it was illegal. And as long as they did it up in the 2 years when they paid it, they would have the opportunity to come before the board and ask for that tax to be refunded. In this situation, the taxing authority, the state and county, there's not an illegal tax that was imposed, or they didn't have it wasn't that they didn't have the authority to impose the tax, it was just it was erroneously or mistakenly imposed because of the circumstances. So from what I gather from the college case laws out there, the statutes and the opinions of the Iowa Attorney General, so there's the recourse for taxpayers is extremely limited when it comes to taxes that are imposed, it's already been paid.
All right, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, had our abstract recreated it was recreated in August of 2021.
Okay.
And until March 27th, when Mike happened to be looking, or shortly after March 27th, when Mike happened to be looking at the assessor's website and saw that our property was now deemed property of the state of Iowa. And with no notification ever received to us during this time period, we had no knowledge. And according to the abstract, there was no knowledge of any ownership other than Claremont when this abstract was recreated on August 3rd of 2021. So there actually may not have any recourse if we had knowledge of this, but we had no notification, we had no knowledge of the change of the property owner until by coincidence, Mike happened to find that on the assessor's website. So to try and speak on our behalf, we had no way of asking for any recourse on this property because we had no knowledge that it was no longer ours. So that's.
Eric, you had a.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Eric.
Back in 2016, when I found out that Claremont was trying to build condos or whatever is what spurred this survey, I had a discussion with Mr. Bowman about Claremont doesn't own that because it's sovereign like that.
I don't recall that conversation.
It was in Subway.
Okay.
Yeah, and I understand the
So why is it still on abstract in 2021?
well, an abstract is done by an abstracting company whose responsibility is to exhaust the search of any liens, transactions against a property. Why an abstractor with something that close to a lake would not look at Iowa code and say, okay, is this a sovereign lake and therefore does it fall under that law?
Well, Dean, nobody's looked at this since 1926. So to say that an abstractor
did due diligence, we have a Schoenfeld survey that says that it's Claremont's property too. So you have another surveyor doesn't agree with your survey that you guys are gonna show us here on, from 2016. So if this was done in 2016, why wouldn't that be recorded back in 2016? Why did it take till 2023 to record this? If you knew in 2016 that this was done and you had it surveyed.
We didn't have it surveyed. The state of.
The state
Iowa.
surveyed
Okay, so the state of Iowa had it surveyed, so what's the due process to convey property?
Well,
There was nothing.
again, there's nothing to be conveyed because it's considered sovereign property of the state of Iowa. I'm speaking for what I think that the state of Iowa would say to you. I'm not speaking from, I understand the confusion, trust me. And I don't have an answer for you. I wish I had an answer for you.
Is the state gonna let us know if they were served a letter then? Are they doing the research now?
They have been contacted, and I assume that they would let us know, yes.
Where do we go from here? You're kicking the can to the state, so we have to deal with the state, or what are we doing here?
No, that's the last thing I've done. I haven't kicked.
No,
this
you
can.
haven't,
I
I'm
have,
just asking, what
Right.
are we gonna decide here today? What do you want us to do? We're your constituents, we're just asking you for direction on what we do.
I understand. And with the evidence that I've looked at so far, I don't think that there's anything that you can do. I don't think that there's anything that can be done for you to take your total tax acres, if you will, or property, and to subdivide out that was my initial thought was, this would be a fair way to do this. If this wasn't their property, then let's take this portion. But with the information that I've been shown and the case law that I've been shown, that I've read, that is not something that we can do either. I mean, if we did that, we'd be doing a wrong in hopes of doing something right, which seems right to me. But
Why did we continue to receive the tax bill report every 6 months? What, if the state took over possession of that property in 2016, why have we paid taxes up until March 23rd?
because it wasn't changed in the software that we utilize. Now, why? No. And that's not our error either. I would say that it seems to me logical that that's the state of Iowa's error.
And we're proven to be the only ones with ownership of any land that is affected by the Southern Lake rule.
No. No. There's property on the south side of that North Gravel Road on Lake Cornelia, on the extreme northeastern corner of the lake, not Claremont property, but that someone else was saying was their property that they were gonna sell, that the state said, you can't sell that because that property does not belong to you. And to my knowledge, those people were paying taxes on that property up until the time that the state said, no, that is not your property to sell.
Were they notified of that change or?
They were notified of that. And I don't know if they were notified by the state. Do you know, Tony? It was by the state. Okay.
Eric, if it didn't get changed in the assessor's page and we can't find out if the state actually sent a letter or not, would that give us grant? Can we go back 2 years and refund at that point? Would that fall into that category at all or not?
from my reading of the statutes and case law, it doesn't, so that code section is Iowa Code Section 445.60.
Yeah, 60.
60.
It authorizes the board of supervisors to be able to refund taxes to a taxpayer, and not just necessarily property taxes, but other types of taxes also, so this applies to a variety of different taxes. When they are, like I said, erroneously or illegally applied, but that phrase has been interpreted by the courts to be a pretty narrow phrase, so it's not enough for just a mistake to have been made. It has to have been a mistake significant enough in terms of the taxing authority, for example, not actually having the authority to impose a tax on someone. And so and therefore would be illegal. That authority by the board of supervisors vindicate thing where you could do that refund of up to 2 years.
So they were, the tax was put on it and they didn't owe, and they paid it. Would that fall under that then?
No,
No.
it does not.
That's not.
According to the way it's only if we didn't have the authority to tax them. We do have the authority to tax them as it was understood that it was their property. This is where the problem comes in, is that they have an abstract that shows that that property was theirs. Therefore, they pay taxes on it. The state says, no, that is not their property. It is our property. It is part of the sovereign lake bed. You never owned that. You can't claim that. Therefore, no, there is no, at least the way that I read all of this, there is no recourse. I'm willing to, go to the state and ask them to come here and talk and present their side of it. Because I feel that they're the ones who should be sitting here explaining this, why this happened.
Appreciate it if you could do that.
Okay.
Yeah, that would help. We're gonna keep doing our due diligence and research. I mean, I don't think any of us on this board are contesting that may be a possibility. The problem is that we did do research. We did go back and have an abstract
Updated.
updated, other than hearsay, we had to go by what the documents said. So the documents didn't change in 2021 from what we had an understanding of. Obviously, I know, sounds like Eric had a different opinion. That's fine. Probably, it may be right. But at the end of the day, we did pay tax on that property for a long, long time. And this doesn't seem right, that it's just, that's it. Because, yeah, just don't think it's right. And I think they have a bigger fish to fry if they're gonna enforce it on that northeast corner and not on if the sovereign lake bed went further south than it does now, then you really got a problem. Right, so, yeah, we'd love to visit with the state if it's possible, to set up that meeting. Anything else?
Thanks for
Appreciate it, guys.
bringing it. Yeah, I will get you a copy of that 2016 survey that the state had done.
Yeah, the photos too, if you got them.
Okay. You bet.
You can go to the DNR, old aerial photos
Pardon me?
in the 30s, and you can see what it looks like in the
Yeah,
30s, the 40s.
I looked at it on the 30s, the one I saw in the 30s, it still had just had a big hole right there.
Okay.
So that wouldn't be considered navigable really, but maybe, I mean, what I've read about the navigable sovereign lake bed is it has to be a continuous navigable body of water. That little hole, that property is, you couldn't access it from the main body of water, at least from and there might be other photos. Gotcha. Can't say.
Do you have an estimate of what you think is what you would like to see refunded to you?
I mean, where do you start and stop? I mean, what's the time value of money from 1926? I don't know. I don't know what's fair. I don't know what. I don't know.
Zero's not fair.
Zero's probably not fair. I don't know what's fair. I don't think we're asking for a ton of money or anything. We're just trying to make, well, we want something that's right. This isn't right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank
Thank you.
Larry.
Excuse me a minute, you know. I've bought land and sold land. But ain't a deed better than a quick claim deed? You can get a quick claim deed in 10 years, it's automatically yours. Ask the attorney if that's right.
Generally speaking, yeah.
Yeah, a quick claim deed is, in 10 years, it's yours.
Not as knowledgeable on it, I guess.
And I will debate and even speak a little bit, but I understood that a deed was better than a quick claim deed. And a quick claim deed in 10 years, it's yours.
Quick claim deed, yeah, a warranty deed gives you certain warranties. A quick claim deed is pretty much buyer beware.
That's been used, the railroad uses it all the time.
I think what you'll find in my work with this on the Schroeder property and the issues with the border and who owned what, and the 2016 survey is that the DNRs or the state's position is going to be quit claim deed be damned, sovereign rights to the original lake bed is what they're gonna stand on. That, I'm not saying that
No,
that's right.
Yeah, that's
I'm
the
just-
research I've seen too. It's pretty hard.
It's-
It goes back to people putting docks on property that's receded and other things and. You know, the one main thing is it has to be navigable, so I guess that would be the only potential.
I'll see if I can get the DNR guy that we've been in contact with to come here and present.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. 9:45, so we've got 3 minutes. Courtney, how long will yours take? One of yours.
43 minutes unless you want to break apart the joint drainage and assessments with the different counties.
Somebody.
No, I don't want to.
Okay.
Need a head break.
Or meetings.
Okay.
I had DCAT, we did get funding and Parent Connection will get an additional 5,000.
Excellent. Thank
And
you.
we put 5 in reserve, so if we run through that, we have a little bit extra dollars in there, so that changed. Also with mental health in schools, we were putting Berry Hill on notice that they need to find a counselor for Eagle Grove in the fall because their contract says they have to. They will be formally notified, so if they don't, they jeopardize their 2 other counties and we can pull the contract and go for someone that can provide service. Our main concern is
Were they pulling their?
they, from what I understand now is they do not have a counselor at Eagle Grove for the fall. They reached out to Iowa Specialty, see if they could take it over, but there's still a waiting list there. So with Berry Hill pulling out of Eagle Grove, there is a void because there's a waiting list for both Iowa Specialty and Berry Hill. The Berry Hill's contract is to provide a counselor in all the schools in the 3 counties. So if they are not being able to do it in Eagle Grove, it puts in jeopardy of their contract. So we're putting them on notice saying, hey, you need to start to hire someone now.
So if they void that contract by not providing somebody.
Yeah, we can go back, get a request for proposal and go out for bid. And I spoke to Iowa Specialty Hospital to see if they'd be willing to take the bid on, but they'd have to provide service and also Humboldt and Hamilton.
Is that an on-site counselor or that's only
On-site.
access?
Is mental health out on site in the schools.
Okay.
I had nothing for meetings. I got a couple of them coming up here next week.
I didn't have any. Let me see, but I did receive an email from Christina Paradise. You'll be refreshed that she is the representative for Snyder Associates and will be our pipeline inspector person. She is the one that's coordinating that. And I'll read the letter to you. Hi Dean, I'm writing to you this afternoon to request Wright County sponsor my attendance at the PIMSA meeting on 5/31 and on May 31st and June 1st. I'm asking all our counties for help with my hourly wage, mileage, and hotel for one night. I plan to pay for my own meals. The goal is to have enough counties to agree to sponsor me. At the cost would only be $250 or $300 per county. I don't think that that's right, because she's only asking for one night.
What's her hourly rate though? If the seminar is 8 hours long, she looking to be paid for.
Oh, possibly, yeah, okay. I would never incur our costs or bill hours that I feel would not be reimbursed by the pipeline without specific consent. It is possible that the pipeline will refuse to pay the invoice for my attendance at this meeting. In exchange, I would provide the county with a thorough written report of what was said during the meeting. Please let me know what the Board of Supervisors has to say about this. So she's requesting that we would go in with the other counties, and I can call her and tell her, you know, what has the response been from the other counties. I can tell you that the county will incur expense for myself and Adam and Jeremy to attend that, because
And
we,
Mr. Whipple.
yeah, and Mr. Whipple plan to attend.
And is that reimbursable by the pipeline?
She says that she thinks that the pipeline will balk at paying for that portion.
Don't know. It's not specifics of one pipeline.
No,
This meeting.
right,
It's a safety meeting.
so Right.
It's not a
right.
it is a CO2 safety meeting. It's not a navigator or someone card.
To me, the $250 to $300, you know, if the other counties share in it, I think it's worthwhile. For us to bear the cost alone, no, I don't think that we should. But if our share of it would be $250 to
It'd
$300,
be pretty cheap to have her there
yeah,
to see everything.
yeah.
And you're going down with who? I mean, and the reason for your group going down is just for knowledge or?
Both knowledge and input to PIMSA on my concerns on the lack of CO2 safety precautions, the lack of being able to have dispersion models if you were to have a break. I mean, why isn't that stuff available? The pipeline gives us all of these. Maybe I shouldn't say that. The pipeline gives us their side of the story. And I don't want their side of the story. I want the story. And PIMSA is the one who is responsible for making those rules. And so I want to give input and receive any knowledge of what they're talking about. And I want our planning and zoning person to have that knowledge, and I want our engineer to have that knowledge.
Okay, no, I was just curious on that.
Right, but my question to you is, would you support paying $250 to $300 to have our pipeline representative to pay part of her way to go to that also?
And she's the one that represents us for our county then too, so.
That's correct. She will be on site.
I don't have a problem with
No,
it.
I would say it would be information that she could use when and if it comes through that to
Okay,
make sure it's done. Yeah.
so again, you know, her goal is to have enough counties to agree to sponsor me that it would cost only about $250 to $300 per county. I will talk to her and see what her response has been from the other counties, so that so if it's within that ballpark, I'm going to tell her, yes, we would do that. Okay,
Not a problem.
okay,
And then should we pay that out of like that drainage administrative fund?
yeah.
Is that? What is our fund balance in there? Is it?
I have to double check and see what it is.
Okay,
Sure.
So we come up
I'm
with
sure,
drainage.
yeah,
Okay, and so it will be based on drainage and not taxpayer money then.
Correct.
Drainage, okay.
you okay with that?
I just wasn't sure where it was coming from. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay. All right, 9:45. I'm sorry, past 9:45. Boone Morgan, Clark Boone Morgan. Watch your knees when you slide under that table. Is here to present, for Gold Eagle Cooperative, plans on an anhydrous ammonia plant, north of Clarion, which there is currently, yes, sir. You bet.
You bet. On the first page, you'll see, I'll backtrack. Boone Morgan, with Gold Eagle Co-op, I'm the agronomy manager there and here to represent Gold Eagle, looking to discuss and looking for approval for a new anhydrous ammonia facility, at the Clarion North site, our new site north of town. As you know, as you mentioned, the existing plant is already out there. We're looking to build a new plant on the back side, farther away from the road, behind the new bins. So we're currently 90 feet from the road with our anhydrous ammonia facility that holds roughly 270 tons of storage. Looking to be roughly 600 feet from the road with 500 ton of storage. Tier 2 RMPs, SOPs, up to the latest and greatest as far as safety features, as you can see in the handout. You know, as is the current system, we're just looking at a new facility, new storage facility out there, so.
And the old facility would be reclaimed as parking lot or?
Correct.
So, okay.
Yep.
It-
Eventually
But
over
it
time,
would go away.
it would go away.
Okay.
Yep. Now, all depends on the timing. This year, it depends on the timing of completion of the new, being able to use the old, how that all intersects. But
Okay.
yes, it will be pulled out of service.
Do you anticipate that the old would be piped into the new in some way, or that's dependent on, again, on their construction, or it would be a standalone until it goes away?
Yep, standalone.
Okay.
This would be
All right.
a new state of the art, as you can see, standalone
Yeah.
project. The old tanks would either be repurposed in a different location or sold.
Okay.
Plumbing reclaimed, everything else.
You talked to our zoning and all that, so we're good.
Yep, yep, this is with Jeremy, yep. So we're good there. This is part of the state's procedure too. Getting in front of you guys and getting approval, making sure, you know, public notice. So if there's any issue of concern, you know, so on and so forth, part of their due process, so.
This came up years ago when I first became a supervisor. I think it expanded or something there. I was remembering, so.
Yep, you bet. So
And
tier 2 has been addressed. We do that within. And our safety director, Jeff Miracle, handles our tier 2, and that'll be updated as well, as long as along with our RMPs.
and I think that entire acres outlined there was part of urban renewal, right?
Yeah,
It's-
chicken
it's
renewal.
all within that
Yes,
district, correct? That the
parcels.
The cities,
Mhm.
yeah, okay. And have you presented to the city because that falls within their, is that important for them to do
It's
that?
still in
Still
the
county
rural.
land. It's
Okay,
something they
all
just
right,
reach out to
thank
the
you.
urban real.
Okay. I don't
I'd do a motion to approve.
questions.
I would second it.
I have a motion and a second to approve, the, proposal presented by, Boone Morgan with Gold Eagle Cooperative, for the new anhydrous ammonia plant, at their north site, north of Clarion. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
You want these back?
Yeah, I'll take it. Thank you.
Can I keep mine?
Thank you.
for the
You bet.
records?
You
Thank
bet. Thank you.
All right,
I'm gonna go to the restroom.
okay, we'll take a momentary recess.
This is from the state of Iowa, and it is on the homestead tax exemption and the increase in military exemptions. And it's kind of their letter of,
This was to you from
At the very top down.
Deputy Administrator.
Mhm. Down roll.
Right. This letter concerns new homestead tax exemptions for claimants 65 years of age or older. And an increase in the military service tax exemptions. Both changes are retroactive and will apply to the assessment year starting January 1st, 2023. So the current year that we're in. In addition to the homestead tax credit, eligible claimants who are 65 years of age or older on or before January 1st of the assessment year are now eligible for a homestead tax exemption. For the assessment year beginning January 1st, 2023, the exemption is for $3,250 of taxable value. For assessment years beginning on or after January 1st of 2024, the exemption is for $6,500 of taxable value. Claimants will be able to file a claim for this exemption on the same form as the claim for credit. When a homestead credit claim is approved, the exemption will also be granted if the claimant meets the age criteria for the assessment year. If the claim for the exemption is unsuccessful, the exemption will be applied in successive years without needing to file again. Unlike the homestead tax credit, the state will not be reimbursing the exemption to counties. So this will be a hit on our tax dollars available.
Correct.
Claimants who have previously been approved and continue to qualify for the homestead credit before May 4th of 2023 could be automatically awarded the exemption if they meet the eligibility criteria. The exemption can only be automatically granted if the assessor has enough information to verify eligibility. The Iowa Department of Revenue has amended the homestead form to allow claimants to apply for this new exemption. Iowa Department of Revenue will advise claimants to apply for the exemption using the new form if they are eligible. Concerning the increase in military exemption, the military service tax exemption is being increased to $4,000 of taxable value for assessment years on or after January 1st, 2023 for an honorably separated, retired, furloughed, or to a reserve placed on inactive status or discharged veteran as defined in Iowa Code Section 35.1 to subparagraph A or B. For each fiscal year beginning on or after July 1st of 2024, the military exemption will be removed from the general fund of the state.
Which means.
Which means they will not reimburse the county for those exemptions.
Another hit that we'll take.
That's effective this year. That one.
Well, I have the 2022 values for 23, 24.
Okay, so
So next year when.
2023 values come.
When she passes those values to me, then we will update our software and apply. Now, I believe everybody who's age 65 and older needs to come in and let us and are eligible for a homestead. They own their own place. Is it the 1st of January 23?
They have to be 65 by January 1st.
Okay.
And there's a spot on the form now that says their birthday, and then on the back, are you certifying that you're 65 of age? So they updated the form already. But yeah, in the institutions is gonna have to somehow fix their system, and I'm assuming they're gonna charge us for that fee for them to update their software. Or they're gonna have another fee to, they're gonna do
But the state's not.
Okay, have we got Rick back yet? There he is.
this next one. More bills.
All right, item number 10, review and act on the Wright County Drainage District assessments eligible for spread waivers. Oh, Courtney.
Thank you.
All right, this year we don't have too many. A lot of them are going to be, or a few of them are going to be joint districts. We got 9 of them that are eligible to be spread. The first one that we have is Drainage District 100-2. We only have 4 tracks in that one that meet the $500 and over threshold per tract. And it actually only comes out to be 2 different landowners. And those are listed there.
And in the past, normally we've gone out how long?
It just kind of varies. You can either choose 10, 15, 20 years. This is the amount that each of these individuals, if they choose to come in and sign the waiver, that they can spread out their payment over the set number of years that you guys designate. You guys have in the past allowed, depending on the amounts, up to the 20 years, but it can be paid off sooner with no penalty or anything like that for paying it off sooner.
So let's say we do 10-year in this one, but they want 15-year.
We only get the 10.
They only get the 10.
If we did 20 years, they could pay it off in 5, 10, 15 or whenever, but it gives them the authority, but they're still paying interest to Peggy at that point too.
Right.
And if any payments that we receive before December 1st will be applied with no interest.
Okay.
So if you come in and pay this year's, and then you want to pay like the next 3, there's no interest on those 3.
Okay,
Just on the first one, if they paid before December 1st.
good.
But that is also going to show if those payments are spread out that much longer, that fund will still be showing in the negative for that period, and we just have to keep record of that. If they do come in. and-
That's why I was thinking, at least since I've been a supervisor, I don't think we've done a 20-year. It seemed to me like 15-year was the longest that we've done.
We do have 20s, yeah.
We do have 20s?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
But we did some of those real big ones
Mhm.
that were quite a few years ago, but we haven't done one. I don't think recently we've done a 20.
Yeah. So this first one here is kind of in the mediocre area of amounts for 100-2. We can go through each one of them and take a look at each one individually, and you can decide, or if you want to glance at them all and choose to make a decision on how you want to waive all of them, we can do it that way. I believe that's kind of how you guys did it last year. Now, I do want to point out that there is a couple of them, like the last 2 on this page, DD 117 and DD 118-4. All of those, the tract amounts are under 1,000. The rest of the districts, there are amounts over $1,000. So I don't know if you necessarily want to, if you're leaning more towards like the 20-year, if you're really wanting to do that for all of them with those being smaller amounts. But it's completely up to you as the trustees of the district.
And the shortest amount is 10 years.
Yes, the shortest amount is 10 years, max amount is 20, and then the medium in the middle is 15.
What do you think on the 15?
Well, DD 194 lateral 1A's got some big numbers in it.
Yes.
And just a refresher on that one, that is the one that we just recently had that project on, that they reclassified it and did the subdivide out on the different laterals and things like that. So that's why there is quite a few on that 194 lateral 1A. There is a 194 lateral C on the back. There were just a few charges that were applied to that district that had to be assessed for.
Now, on DD 230, when it comes down to state of Iowa DNR, they're not gonna pay, are they?
State of Iowa.
Yeah, they,
Yes,
State of Iowa does pay?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just the feds that don't.
If that does, okay.
Yes.
I would think 194 lateral 1A and DD 230 should probably go 20. I mean, what do you think, Dean? You're the farmer. I mean, some of those numbers are pretty big and
I would agree, and I guess my initial thought is that if we're gonna do 20 for them, why not do 20 for all of them? It's the landowner's prerogative that they could come in and say, no, I just want to pay this and be done.
I'm fine with that. Keep it simple across the board. You have any issues with that, Peggy? If we just did 20 years across the board they could go up to 20?
It's, Peggy and I are not gonna be here 20 years.
No. No, I really doesn't matter to me, but you gotta think of like these spread drainage projects as a credit card. Because what you're doing is you're paying out 20 years for work that was done last year. Then if that drain gets assessed again, they're gonna spread that payment out again. Pretty soon, you're going to be owing a lot of money on the work that was done a long time.
Long time ago.
Because you could end up doing work on some of these and the 20-year payment, it may not be up. Yeah.
We've already got that, and I mean, I grant, the big project that are spread 20 years, they probably needed to be spread 20 years in order to get the payment down that was manageable. That would need a lot of work.
230 is probably one of them,
Yeah.
because that was and that's one of the ag drainage well closures.
Yeah.
So
I
it
mean,
could easily
yeah,
be.
I know it's not our policy to manage people's personal finances, but those are things that can go to tax bill too.
That first one, DD2-100, is that the one that were the joint drainage district was Franklin County? That first one?
Yes.
Yeah,
So the work's not even been done, so if you spread that, then next year we are gonna have another one, because that's the one you're working on and you just,
We're gonna have a bid letting here in
Right.
half hour.
Right. I mean, maybe on the ones on the first page, we do 10 years on, because they're not really big numbers there. And even on, it kind of jumps up on the second page. Maybe do 15 on the rest.
I have one other question. Courtney, on that 100-2, Franklin County is the lead on that.
Yes.
Do we follow theirs then, or no?
No.
No,
No,
okay.
we can choose whatever we want for our landowners over here.
Well, I'd
And,
recommend,
and they're spreading theirs, they have theirs on their list also.
Let's see. They do not have a notation on their sheet of whether or not they're spreading. So whether they are spreading any of theirs, or if it's eligible to be spread, I'm not aware. Because they are the one county that does not notate on their sheet whether they are choosing to spread or not. So,
But they've given us what our portion would be.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
all right, that's fine.
well, I'd recommend we do 10 on the first page and 15 on the rest.
is that a motion?
Yes.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second to do a 10-year spread on DD 100-2, DD 113-5, DD 117, DD 118-4, and 15-year spread on DD 155, DD 164, DD 194 lateral 1A, DD 194 lateral C, and DD 230. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Did you say DD 117?
I said DD 117 is a 10-year spread.
Okay, because we did do a 20 on that one. We've only collected 1 year. Last year. Yeah, so that's what I mean, like, that's the point of that I was trying to make, is that we wouldn't have big spreads on drains, and so by
Okay.
credit card effect, I wouldn't call it the.
Okay.
Okay, motion carries. So page 1, DD 100-2, 113-5, 117, and 118-4 are 10-year spread. DD 155, 164, DD 194, lateral 1A, lateral C, and DD 230 are all 15-year spreads.
Correct.
Okay. Review and act on joint drainage district assessments with Humboldt, Webster, and Franklin counties. This is item number 11.
Original.
Is it gonna rain tomorrow? Is it gonna rain Thursday? Oh,
Don't look that far ahead.
I tried to.
The original. Is the one for Humboldt County.
And these are not included in these, correct?
Correct. These are,
This is our,
It is. This
yeah,
is the over.
Franklin's. So for Franklin County, this DD 100-2, the work that was done would be included in that, correct?
This is at the whole entire district.
Correct.
This is the tracks within that district that are eligible if it qualifies.
Okay,
So yes,
got
those are, it's 2 copies, one for us, one for the other county, so I
Good.
would need both of them signed. When we get there.
it. Okay,
Okay,
you're gonna do which one first?
we're gonna do Franklin County first, the first
Thank
one I
you.
gave you.
Okay,
So Franklin County, we have 3 districts here. The very first one is 100-2, which is the one that we will be having the bid letting here on shortly. And that was included in the eligible for spread for that you guys just made a motion on. The total amount that they are looking to assess the district is $23,191.46. Of that amount, Wright County's total share is $6,261.69.
Okay.
The next one on here, and these are both Franklin County controlled on this list. The next one is 111-3. The total amount that they're looking to assess that district is $6,035.31. Wright County share of that is $1,267.41. The last one on the list is 118-4. Total amount they're looking to assess that district, and this is for the main open ditch, is $63,256.50. With Wright County share being $10,753.60.
I would make a motion to approve.
second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the 2023 joint drainage district re-levies with Wright County and Franklin, with that Franklin County has control. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. And you want us to sign this one?
Yes, your copy.
Okay, go on.
And then Dean, if you want a copy to keep, I will give you this copy.
Okay, sounds good.
Carl.
The next one I will go over is the one with Humboldt County.
Okay,
That one, there is. That one, there is only one district that they, or that we are actually control of with them. This is 113-5. The total amount that is needed for this district is $6,974.82. Wright County share of that is $3,417.66. Excuse me, the total amount is $7,532.80, with Wright County share being $3,417.66.
so how come the total and the total amount needed don't align there?
there's an additional that we put on there as like our buffer.
Okay, all right.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the 2023 joint drainage district levies with Humboldt County, Wright County being the control on this one. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
All right, and I will just kind of give you guys a heads up on this one.
Again, sign this one.
Yes. It's just gonna
You
be
take that.
for your records.
You take it.
Yeah.
These are copies of an invoice that we received last year during assessment season, but we got them after we already approved all of our assessments.
Carl.
And so this is just a heads up that we are including this amount in this year's assessment. So next week, when I bring everything to you,
These are added on then.
these are added in. Because Humboldt County, when they do the ones that they control, they don't give us like the sheets that you guys normally sign. They just mail out the statements.
So this would be added to what we just
Yeah.
done. Okay. Got it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right, and then the last one that I have is with Webster County. We just have one district with them, which is 49-90. The total amount that they are looking to levy that district is $1,810.56. Our portion for Wright County of that is $340.32.
I would make a motion to approve the 2023 re-levies with drainage districts joint with Webster County 49-90.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. This one you need to sign.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. For the Humboldt one, I add these two receipts to that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we will be in recess for 10 minutes until 10:28. We have a 10:30 bid letting with Franklin County on Joint Drainage District 100-2. That is,
Oh.
Yeah, that's their,
That's their hold, I guess.
Okay, Wright County is back in session. We are actually in session now as
Can they add us to the meeting, please?
When's Memorial Weekend?
not this not this coming Monday, but the following coming Monday, the 29th.
Get our farming done?
No. 280 acres of used to be. See if they got you.
Are we in?
Yeah,
Hi,
we're just
Clayton.
finishing it. We got a couple more to sign up and then we'll get started. This is Chris Vaness with Franklin County Supervisors.
Do you want to be smart?
No, it doesn't say.
Okay, I think we're ready to get started. Oh, where's Colette? Okay, our drainage clerk Colette is. Got some serious backseat. There it went away.
Sorry.
I think it's because Betty's on the phone and Dean's on the. Okay.
Dean has silenced the computer. We've just got video with you. We're on the
Okay.
phone for audio.
We've consulted tech services, Gary, and he diagnosed it.
Gary.
Oh, come on. This is getting harder.
You want to sit up there so you can hear? Okay.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, so on our end, acting as trustees for the Wright County Board of Supervisors is Carl Hugavold, Dean Cluse, Rick Rasmussen. We also have auditor
Ellis.
Betty Ellis, Amanda Meyer, and drainage clerk Courtney Stewart. Morris, excuse me.
That was Betty.
Yeah, here's Colette. Do we need to repeat all that for her? Or?
No,
Okay. Yeah, okay, Colette's here. We'll go ahead and I'll entertain a motion to open this meeting.
So moved.
Lucas Meyer moved. Who seconded? Dean seconded. All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Me.
Aye.
All ayes, Wright County.
There's one me.
All ayes, Franklin. I don't know, we've got, the three supervisors, Auditor Flint, Drainage Clerk Bruce. And we've got a number of people. Do you want them all named? I don't know most of them, but. There's the mainly contractors. Yeah, the contractors here.
No, we're good.
So, with that, we'll go ahead and, start opening bids, I guess. Yep. So it looks like we've got on Drainage District 2-100, the joint district, it looks like we've got 6 bids. I'm just gonna open them in the order that Ola gave them to me. So the first one is Weideman Incorporated of Dow. And I'll open the bid security, make sure it looks in order, then open the bid and I'll just give the total. We'll have bid swap with individual items available later today. They have a bid bond. It appears to be in order. I won't dispute it. The bid is signed. Total bid, $234,324.07. 234,324 .07. Next bid is from PCI, or Peterson Contractors, however you want to say it, of Rhinebeck. Hazard, you can cut yourself. Work comfort. They have a bid bond. It also appears to be in order. It is signed. Full bid, $223,046.10. 223,046.10. Yeah, I know. Thank you. Next bid is from Brandon Meyer Drainage or Meyer Trenching. They have a bid bond. Appears to be in order. Signed. Total bid price, $263,300. 263,300. Next bid is from Henniger Construction of Clarion. They have a bid bond. Here's the bid order. Bid is signed. Total bid price, $253,755.20. 253,755.20. Next bid is from Larson Contracting of Lake Mills. They have a bid bond. Appears to be in order. It is signed. Bid price, $233,738.26. 233,738.26. Last bid is from Jet Drain Services of Ames.
What was the name of the company?
Jet Drain Services.
Jet Drain.
JET.
Sounds stupid.
And the bid bond. Appears to be in order. Bid is signed. Their total price is $216,667. 216,667. So assuming all the math on everything in the world is correct, which is a big assumption sometimes, Jet Drain is your current low bidder. We can check math and you guys can wait until after the math check the award. It's probably the safest bet. I have seen people award tentatively. Always feels like whenever we do that, then the math's off, so. And then you gotta redo your motion, but it's up to you. I also know with joint board meetings, not always easy to schedule.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Wright County?
Tentative.
Can we approve, tentatively approve Jet Drain, after the math, noting that the math will be checked, and a potentially Peterson Construction if the math is, or the next lowest bidder?
And their math checks out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably a safe motion if your clerk's okay with it, so pending math check, approve Jet Drain. As I had PCI written at 223. Yeah, Jet Drain was 216. And so PCI would be second. Correct, yep.
That was his,
Yep.
yeah, that was his motion.
Larson. Oh, Larson.
So, okay, we have a motion by Dean Clues. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
McVicker seconded. Any other discussion? Everybody knows what we're doing here. It's a tentative agreement unless the math doesn't check out, basically. So with that, I'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All ayes, Wright
All
County.
ayes. All ayes Franklin and all ayes Wright. Okay, thank you. We need a motion to close this joint meeting. Lucas Meyer, motion to close the joint meeting of Wright County. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, got a second. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. All ayes here. Okay,
Thank you.
thanks, guys.
Thank you.
You bet.
Okay. Now we're moving on to bids on.
Goodbye.
Oh, alrighty, bye.
Okay, is there any other business to be brought before the board?
Motion to adjourn.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
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 Motion carried. Meeting is adjourned.